Olivia Morgan was grading papers in her office when the world changed forever. Outside her window, a massive shadow fell across the Stanford campus as students pointed upward and screamed. The sleek purple vessel hovered silently above the university. Grounds it was happening everywhere across the globe. The news reports flooded in identical ships appearing over major cities worldwide. No communication, no aggression, just silent, watchful presence. Governments scrambled, military forces mobilized, citizens panicked, but Olivia felt something different beneath her curiosity. For 3 days, the vessels remained motionless. Then, as suddenly as they arrived, they broadcast a message in perfect English. "We are the Zarthan Collective. We come. In peace we seek understanding. We request diplomatic contact." The world leaders debated frantically who would represent humanity in this first official meeting, what qualifications were needed. The Zarthans simplified matters by requesting specific individuals, people with unique neurological patterns they had detected from orbit. Olivia was shocked to find her name on their list. She was a linguistics professor, not a diplomat, but the government officials explained her pattern recognition abilities, and emotional intelligence registered remarkably high on whatever scanning technology the aliens used. She was perfect for establishing communication. They told her as they rushed her through briefings. The meeting location was a neutral facility, constructed overnight in the Nevada desert. When Olivia arrived by military helicopter, she saw the alien craft up close for the first time, smaller than the massive ships in orbit, but still impressive with its seamless purple hull that seemed to absorb light. Inside the facility, a team of scientists, security personnel, and government officials waited nervously. "We don't know what to expect," the lead scientist told her. "Just try to establish positive communication. Learn what they want. Find common ground if possible." The air shifted subtly as the Zarthan delegation entered the room. Olivia gasped. Despite briefings, nothing prepared her for seeing actual aliens, 3 of them, tall, slender, with iridescent skin that shifted subtly with light, their faces almost human, but with delicate ridges along their foreheads and large eyes that seemed to change color as they watched the humans. The leader stepped forward, her movements graceful, fluid. Unlike anything human, she wore simple garments of shimmering material that moved like liquid. "My name is Kira, Chief Cultural Analyst of the Zarthan Collective." Her voice was musical with subtle harmonics, the translator device at her throat glowing softly as she spoke. Olivia stepped forward, as rehearsed, feeling the weight of humanity on her shoulders. "I'm Olivia Morgan, Professor of Linguistics representing Earth. Welcome to our planet." Kira tilted her head, studying Olivia with eyes that swirled between green and blue. "We have observed your species for some time before making contact. You are unusual among sentient life forms. Your neurological patterns particularly interest us." The scientific team behind Olivia shifted nervously at this revelation, but Olivia maintained her composure. "What aspects of humanity interest you?" Most. Kira gestured, and images appeared in the air between them. "Complex brainwave patterns, emotional responses, genetic sequences. Your capacity for contradictory emotional states fascinates us. You experience fear, yet seek it. You form attachments that defy logical benefit. You create fictional scenarios with no practical application. These traits are rare among spacefaring civilizations." The meeting continued for hours as the Zarthans asked questions about human society, culture, psychology. They revealed little about themselves, focusing entirely on gathering information about humans. Olivia noticed they were particularly interested in human emotional responses, especially fear. As the first meeting concluded, Kira approached Olivia privately, her eyes shifting to a violet hue. "Your species is complex, fascinating. Your mind particularly shows patterns we seek to understand. Would you serve as primary contact for future discussions?" Olivia found herself agreeing. Despite the enormous responsibility, something about Kira's genuine curiosity resonated with her own academic spirit. After all, understanding alien thought was the ultimate linguistic challenge. Over the next week, Olivia learned more about the Zarthans. They were from a star system 200 light-years from Earth. Their society consisted primarily of females, with males making up less than 10% of their population. They possessed technology far beyond human capabilities, including faster than light travel and advanced biotechnology. During their third meeting, Kira revealed another surprising fact: we have studied your global communications for decades before contact. We understand your languages, customs, conflicts, but emotional experiences elude us despite our knowledge. Olivia considered this. You mean you understand what emotions are, but not how they feel? Kira's eyes shifted to blue. Exactly. We comprehend the neurological processes, but not the experiential reality. Our species processes stimuli differently. We seek to bridge this gap. This led to their most significant discussion. Yet Kira leaned forward, her eyes intense. We particularly wish to understand what you call fear. This emotion drives many human behaviors, yet also paralyzes you. It seems contradictory and inefficient, yet appears central to human experience. The request caught Olivia off guard. Fear is complex. She began. It evolved as a survival mechanism, warning us of danger, but it manifests differently across situations and individuals. Some fears are instinctive, others learned through experience. It can be debilitating or motivating, depending on context. Kira looked unconvinced. Her eyes shifted toward Violet, showing confusion. Your explanation is logical yet incomplete. We understand the evolutionary purpose but not the experiential reality. Olivia realized the challenge was greater than translation. This was explaining the human condition to beings who experienced reality through fundamentally different neurological pathways. Abstract explanations would never bridge this gap. What if I showed you instead? She suggested. Would viewing examples help? Kira conferred briefly with her team before agreeing. The aliens had studied human media extensively, but struggled to differentiate genuine fear responses from theatrical performances. We would appreciate demonstration. That night Olivia barely slept. Considering the implications of this exchange, she was not merely translating language, but trying to translate the essence of humanity itself. The Zarthans' technology and knowledge could revolutionize human society, but only if true understanding could be established. She realized traditional educational approaches would fail. She needed something more visceral, more authentic, something that would demonstrate the reality of human fear in all its complexity. The next morning she made her decision, ignoring the suggested materials from the scientific team. Instead, she prepared something entirely different, something that might either bridge the gap between species or create greater misunderstanding. She could only hope her instincts were right. When Olivia arrived for the fourth meeting, Kira and 3 other Zarthans waited with scientific instruments, ready to measure whatever data they deemed relevant. Their eyes showed colors Olivia now recognized as anticipation and scientific curiosity. We are prepared for your demonstration of fear, Kira stated, her translator rendering her formal tones into English. Olivia took a deep breath and pulled out a simple tablet. Instead of educational videos or clinical demonstrations, she had prepared something unexpected, a compilation of genuine human reactions to fear. The screen flickered to life, showing ordinary people playing a popular horror game in darkened rooms, their faces illuminated by monitor glow. The game began quietly, exploratory, then came the jump scares. Players screamed, jerked back, knocked over, drank. Some laughed nervously afterward. Others needed moments to compose themselves. One young man simply whispered, "Not going back in there. Not for anything." Kira watched with rapt attention, her eyes shifting to deep indigo, a color Olivia had never seen before. The other Zarthans murmured among themselves, taking readings with their devices. The atmosphere in the room grew charged with scientific excitement. When the video ended, Kira remained silent for nearly a minute, analyzing what she'd witnessed. These humans voluntarily exposed themselves to fear stimuli. She finally said they sought this experience. Yes, Olivia confirmed. People engage with controlled fear in entertainment fiction. Allows us to experience intense emotions from safety. It can be thrilling, even enjoyable under the right circumstances. The Zarthan leader moved closer to the screen, her long fingers hovering over the paused image of a terrified yet smiling human. Fascinating, the neural patterns make sense. Now, fear is not merely avoidance. It has nuance, texture, variation. It connects to other emotions, excitement, pleasure, relief. It builds bonds between those who share the experience. This simple demonstration accomplished what hours of explanation could not. The Zarthans gained their first true insight into human psychology. Olivia continued with more examples showing videos of people on roller coasters, haunted houses, scary movie nights, the range of fear responses from screaming to nervous laughter to frozen silence. The Zarthans absorbed everything, their instruments constantly measuring human reactions on screen. Yet Kira seemed most interested in what came after the fear, the relief, the laughter, the social bonding that occurred when the experience ended. The contrast fascinates us, she explained. Our species responds to threats with pure efficiency. No emotional residue remains after the threat passes over subsequent meetings. Olivia expanded beyond fear, showing the aliens more aspects of humanity through carefully selected media music that triggered goosebumps, stories that brought tears, art that provoked wonder. Each example revealed the complex emotional landscape humans navigated daily. The Zarthans proved to be exceptional students, absorbing information at remarkable rates. They began to recognize emotional patterns, without their instruments identifying subtle facial expressions and body language that signaled human feelings. Kira especially developed an intuitive understanding of human emotions that surprised even the scientific team. Meanwhile, the Zarthans shared glimpses of their own society, their homeworld. Zartha orbited a binary star system with unusual radiation patterns that shaped their evolution. They lived twice. As long as humans communicated partly through skin color signals and possessed technology that manipulated gravitational fields with remarkable precision. Kira developed a particular interest in human creativity. The concept of fiction, especially, intrigued her. Zarthans recorded history and scientific knowledge but never created imaginary scenarios. We process information differently, she explained. We seek patterns and solutions, not alternatives to reality. Your species constantly imagines what does not exist. This may explain your rapid technological development, despite biological limitations. Olivia found herself enjoying these cultural exchanges. The alien leader was brilliant, curious, and increasingly responsive to human communication styles. Sometimes Kira would attempt humor, or use idiomatic expressions she'd learned, often missing slightly, but showing remarkable progress. Each meeting deepened their understanding. The scientific team expanded to include experts in various fields: psychology, art history, literature, each contributing perspectives on humanity that the Zarthans absorbed eagerly in return. The aliens shared more about their society, technology, and biology. Although Olivia noticed they remained guarded about certain topics, particularly their vulnerabilities and defensive capabilities, as the diplomatic talks progressed beyond their initial meetings. Global excitement about alien contact transformed from fear to anticipation of technological exchange. The Zarthan vessels remained in orbit, but smaller shuttles now regularly visited research facilities worldwide, always under careful protocols. Economic markets surged with speculation about potential alien technologies, medical breakthroughs, space exploration, advancements. Yet, amid this growing optimism, Olivia noticed something concerning. The Zarthans collected enormous amounts of data about human responses, but revealed little about their own emotional experiences. They shared knowledge, but rarely personal insights. Some military officials worried this imbalance could become dangerous if relations soured. During a briefing with government officials, a general voiced these concerns directly. They know how we react to fear, what makes us afraid, what we do when threatened, but we know nothing about what frightens them. This creates strategic vulnerability. Olivia defended the aliens. They come from a different evolutionary path. Their psychology isn't like ours. We can expect them to experience emotions the same way. Perhaps the general countered, but all species have vulnerabilities. All life forms have self-preservation instincts. They're collecting our weaknesses while sharing none of their own. The conversation troubled Olivia, but she recognized the validity of the concern. True diplomatic relations required reciprocity, vulnerability on both sides. Yet how could she address this without damaging the delicate trust she'd established? During their 8th meeting, Olivia found herself in the now familiar conference room with Kira and 2 other Zarthans. They had been discussing human literature, specifically how stories created emotional responses in readers. When Olivia decided to address the imbalance directly, "Kira, you've studied human emotions extensively." Now she began, particularly our responses to fear and other strong stimuli. The alien nodded, her skin rippling slightly with interest. This understanding forms the foundation of our cultural exchange. Olivia took a deep breath. But I've realized we know very little about Zarthan emotional responses. What stimuli affect you? What triggers your self-preservation instincts? Kira's eyes shifted quickly between colors before settling on a guarded yellow. We process sensory information differently. Emotional responses as you understand them are not comparable. This answer confirmed what the military advisors suspected: the Zarthans were deliberately avoiding sharing their vulnerabilities. Olivia made a difficult decision. She activated a small device she'd been given by military intelligence. Its purpose was defensive, designed to emit a specific frequency that temporarily disrupted Zarthan sensory processing. Nothing harmful, just momentarily disorienting, like a flash of bright light to human eyes. The effect was immediate and revealing. Kira and her team reacted with unmistakable alarm. Their skin flared, bright orange eyes widening to expose secondary membranes. They moved with startling speed, forming a defensive formation. Two produced small devices from hidden compartments in their clothing. Olivia quickly deactivated the emitter and raised her hands in a universal gesture of peace. "Forgive the demonstration," she said calmly, "but you needed to understand." Understanding what Kira demanded, her voice carrying harmonics of distress the translator couldn't fully capture. That humans value reciprocity. Olivia explained, "You've studied our fears while revealing none of your own. For true diplomatic relations, trust must flow both ways." A tense silence followed. The other Zarthans looked to Kira, whose skin gradually returned to its normal hue, her eyes cycling through colors too rapidly for Olivia to interpret. Finally, they settled on a deep blue. "Your method was provocative," Kira said, her voice perfectly controlled, "but effectively demonstrates your point." Olivia maintained steady eye contact with the alien leader. Neither apologetic nor aggressive, simply present. Equality requires vulnerability on both sides. We cannot build lasting relations if one side knows everything about the other while remaining a mystery. Kira studied her for a long moment, then made a subtle gesture. The other Zarthans relaxed slightly, lowering their defensive posture. "Your demonstration was mild yet effective." She admitted it revealed more than you perhaps intended. "We are not accustomed to sharing vulnerabilities. It is not our way, but it is mine," Olivia replied. "And many humans feel similarly true. Connection requires mutual disclosure." The alien leader seemed to come to a decision. "Your species' values are different from ours, but if we seek genuine alliance, we must adapt." She gestured, and the other Zarthans left the room, leaving her alone with Olivia. "What would you know of use everything?" Olivia said simply. "The same openness we have shown you over the next 3 hours." Kira shared insights about Zarthan biology, psychology, and evolutionary history that had been deliberately withheld. Their species evolved as prey on their homeworld, constantly hunted by aerial predators with superior strength and speed. Their advanced technology developed primarily from defensive needs. Their sensitivity to certain energy frequencies remained a physiological vulnerability despite their technological prowess. Most surprising was the revelation about their emotional life. Zarthans experienced emotions but processed them differently. Fear manifested not as the complex response humans felt, but as heightened sensory awareness and immediate action. Without the lingering after effects humans experienced, we do not dwell in emotion. Kira explained, it serves its purpose, then dissipates. This efficiency served our survival. Olivia listened, fascinated by these revelations. Suddenly so much about Zarthan behavior made sense: their careful approach, their focus on human fear responses, their guarded nature, all traced back to their evolutionary history as prey species. But one question remained unanswered. Why Earth? Why humans? Kira hesitated before responding. "We have encountered 17 spacefaring civilizations before yours, all developed along similar evolutionary paths. All approached the universe through similar cognitive frameworks. Your species is unique. Your emotional complexity, your creativity, your ability to imagine alternatives rather than merely processing what exists, these qualities are valuable. Rare, precious." The implication stunned Olivia. The Zarthans hadn't come merely for scientific curiosity or resources. They sought something Far more valuable the unique way humans perceived reality. From that day, the exchange of information became more balanced. Military tensions eased as the Zarthans shared more about their vulnerabilities and capabilities, building trust through transparency. Olivia continued as the primary cultural liaison, but the team expanded to include specialists from diverse fields 3 months after first contact. Earth and the Zarthan Collective signed a historic alliance. Technological exchange programs began, carefully monitored but promising remarkable advances for humanity. Medical research, space, exploration, energy production, all benefited from Zarthan knowledge, while the aliens gained access to human creative arts, which sparked what they called a cultural awakening. Olivia found herself spending more time with Kira as their professional relationship evolved into something resembling friendship. The alien leader requested regular exposure to human art, literature, music, and entertainment, asking endless questions about emotional responses and creative inspiration. One evening, after watching a classical music performance, Kira turned to Olivia, her eyes a thoughtful violet. "Your Mozart creates patterns that trigger emotional responses through sound alone without visual input or narrative context. How is this possible?" Olivia smiled. "Music speaks directly to our emotions, bypassing rational thought. Different combinations of notes, rhythms, and harmonies create different feelings. It's a universal language among humans." Kira processed this. "We have sound patterns for communication and memory storage, but never for emotional stimulation alone. This separation of function from feeling is fascinating. Inefficient, yet beautiful." These conversations continued as Zarthan cultural analysts studied human creativity from all angles. They were particularly drawn to music, theater, and fiction forms of expression that had no equivalent in their highly practical society. 6 months into the alliance, Olivia was invited to visit the Zarthan flagship, a tremendous honor and responsibility. She would be the first human to enter their vessel in orbit. The trip would last 3 days, during which she would observe Zarthan society firsthand. The journey to orbit aboard the Zarthan shuttle was breathtaking. Earth growing smaller below the curve of the planet, visible against the blackness of space when they docked with the massive mothership. Olivia felt a moment of trepidation, the rational part of her brain recognizing she was completely at the aliens' mercy. Kira seemed to sense her anxiety, her skin shifting to calming blue tones. "You are honored, guest and friend," she assured Olivia. "The first of many cultural exchanges, we hope." The mothership interior was unlike anything Olivia had imagined. Vast open spaces with gravity that felt slightly lighter than Earth-curved walls that glowed with soft light, creating an atmosphere both alien and somehow comforting. Zarthans moved about their duties with graceful efficiency, acknowledging Olivia with respectful gestures. During her tour, Olivia observed Zarthan daily life, their communal eating spaces, their research facilities, their recreational areas. She was surprised to find dedicated rooms where Zarthans listened to human music or viewed human artwork. Kira explained they had established cultural study centers throughout the ship, but the most fascinating discovery came on the second day, when Kira led Olivia to a specialized chamber. "We have begun experimenting with fiction," she said, showing Olivia a simulation room where Zarthans experienced programmed scenarios. It began as diplomatic research, but became something more. Inside the chamber, Olivia watched in amazement as Zarthans experienced simulated environments based on human stories, the projections creating immersive narratives complete with emotional stimuli. "Our scientists report neurological changes. The alien explained something unexpected is happening. Our youngest generation shows cognitive patterns unlike any previous Zarthans. They're developing imagination." Olivia realized creativity. Kira nodded, her eyes shifting to warm gold. "A capacity previously undeveloped in our species. We believed it unnecessary. For survival or advancement, we were efficient but limited. Now we see possibilities previously invisible. The implications were staggering." The cultural exchange wasn't merely diplomatic. It was evolutionary, changing both species in unexpected ways. Humans gained technological knowledge while Zarthans developed creative potential. On her final evening aboard the mothership, Kira invited Olivia to an observation dome where Earth hung beautiful and blue against the blackness. "We feared your species," Initially, she admitted her skin transparent enough that Olivia could see the pulse of her alien circulatory system. Your history contains much violence. Your emotions seemed chaotic, unpredictable. And now Olivia asked, now, we understand these qualities. Connect to your greatest strengths. Kira replied. Adaptability, innovation, empathy. Your ability to envision alternatives rather than merely accepting what exists. These traits will serve both our peoples. 1 year after first contact, the relationship between humans and Zarthans had transformed interstellar politics. The alliance demonstrated that understanding emotional differences could bridge even the vast distances between species from different stars. Technological exchange accelerated carefully, managed by joint committees to prevent disruption of human development, while Zarthan medical knowledge eliminated several major diseases. Their energy technology reduced pollution, and their materials, science revolutionized construction and manufacturing. In return, humans shared their creative wealth, music, art, literature, philosophy, psychology. The Zarthans absorbed everything with their characteristic efficiency, but now approached these subjects with growing emotional comprehension. Kira reported that younger Zarthans exposed to human creativity showed neurological development previously unseen in their species. Olivia continued her role as primary cultural liaison, dividing her time between Earth and the Zarthan vessels. She established educational programs where humans and Zarthans could study together, creating deeper bonds through shared learning. Her linguistics background proved invaluable as she developed new communication frameworks that bridged the gap between human emotional expression and Zarthan pragmatism. During this period, Kira revealed more about the larger galactic community. 17 other spacefaring civilizations existed within contact range, though most maintained minimal interaction. The Zarthans occupied a middle position in technological development. Some species possessed capabilities far beyond even their understanding. Most concerning was Kira's revelation about interspecies relations. Most civilizations evolved from similar patterns either as apex predators or as highly cooperative herd species, resulting in remarkably similar cognitive frameworks. Despite biological differences, humans were anomalous. Your evolutionary path created unique neurological patterns, neither purely predatory nor purely cooperative. Your adaptability stems from this hybrid nature. The implications were sobering. Humanity might face challenges integrating with the larger galactic community. Our emotional nature making us unpredictable to other species. Olivia worried about future contact scenarios. Would other species see humans as dangerous or valuable, as if reading her concern? Kira added, this uniqueness is precisely why the exchange benefits both our peoples. You help us develop creativity. We help you understand galactic diplomacy together. We form a more adaptable unit than either alone. 2 years into the alliance, Olivia witnessed the first major test of human-Zarthan cooperation, when astronomical observations detected an asteroid on collision course with Earth. Unlike previous near misses, this massive object would strike within months, causing catastrophic damage. Human panic was immediate. Despite technological advances, Earth lacked capability to divert an object of this size. The Zarthan response was immediate and practical. Kira, coordinating with Earth governments to implement a deflection plan using their gravitational technology, massive Zarthan vessels positioned themselves around the asteroid, generating targeted gravitational fields that gradually altered its trajectory. The operation required precise calculations, tremendous energy, and 3 months of constant adjustment, but succeeded in shifting the asteroid into a stable orbit around the Sun, where it could later be mined for resources. This crisis response cemented public trust in the alliance. Humanity had faced extinction and survived through cooperation with their alien allies. Celebrations worldwide marked the successful deflection, many featuring the distinctive purple lights now associated with Zarthan technology. In the aftermath, Olivia found herself invited to increasingly high-level diplomatic meetings, as Earth governments recognized her unique position of trust with the Zarthan leadership. During one such meeting, a military general questioned whether humanity was becoming too dependent on alien technology. We should be developing our own planetary defense systems, he argued, not relying on Zarthan intervention. What happens if they aren't here next time? Kira, who attended via holographic projection, responded with unexpected emotion. her skin flushing deep purple. Your concern is logical, but misunderstands our relationship. We do not seek dependency, but partnership. Each civilization contributing unique strengths. The asteroid deflection used Zarthan technology, but required human creativity to implement effectively. The discussion highlighted the evolving nature of the alliance, no longer merely technological exchange but true symbiosis. Each species complementing the other's strengths and weaknesses. 3 years after first contact, the first permanent Zarthan embassy opened in Geneva, with smaller consulates in major cities worldwide. Similarly, Earth established its first diplomatic mission aboard the Zarthan mothership, with plans for an embassy on Zartha itself. Once interstellar travel became feasible for humans, these developments coincided with the first educational exchange programs, human students studying Zarthan science and technology. While young Zarthans immersed themselves in human creative disciplines, the cultural cross-pollination accelerated with Zarthan advisors, consulting on space exploration projects, while human artists collaborated with aliens on new forms of expression. Olivia oversaw many of these programs, working closely with Kira to ensure mutual benefit. She noticed dramatic changes in the Zarthans who spent significant time with humans. They developed more expressive communication, subtle humor, and most surprisingly, imagination. The ability to envision alternatives beyond logical progression. Equally fascinating were the changes in humans exposed to Zarthan thinking. Increased pattern recognition, improved emotional regulation, and heightened sensory awareness. The two species were influencing each other in profound ways. Kira shared research findings from Zarthan scientists. Our neurological scans show remarkable adaptation in both species, she explained to Olivia during a private meeting. Brain development previously unseen in either population. Her eyes shifted to a warm gold color that Olivia now recognized as excitement. We are co-evolving, Olivia, a process unprecedented in documented galactic history. This co-evolution manifested most clearly in the joint research facilities where humans and Zarthans worked side by side, humans contributing creative problem-solving, while Zarthans provided methodical analysis. The results were extraordinary breakthroughs in medicine, physics, and environmental science that neither species could have achieved alone. 4 years after first contact, the Alliance faced its first serious external challenge when a delegation from the Merotic hegemony, a powerful spacefaring civilization from a distant star system, arrived unannounced in Earth orbit, their massive black vessels dwarfing even the Zarthan mothership. The Merotics communicated only with the Zarthans, initially ignoring human representatives. Completely, their message was clear. They considered the human-Zarthan alliance concerning unbalanced, potentially destabilizing to galactic order Kira. And the Zarthan leadership found themselves in a difficult position. The Merotics possessed technology far beyond their own, capable of enforcing their will if they chose, yet breaking the alliance with humanity was unthinkable. The relationship had become too valuable. The crisis came to a head during a formal diplomatic meeting aboard the Merotic command vessel, Olivia attending as part of the joint delegation. Despite initial Merotic objections, the Merotic ambassadors, towering silicon-based life forms with crystalline exoskeletons, demanded the Zarthans restrict technology sharing with humans, citing numerous historical precedents of primitive species misusing advanced capabilities. When Kira defended the alliance, explaining the unique benefits of human creativity, the Merotic leader dismissed the argument with a gesture. Emotional species are unpredictable, dangerous. Their decision process is contaminated by irrational factors. The data is clear. They cannot be trusted with gravitic manipulation technology or faster-than-light communication. The tension in the chamber grew palpable. Zarthan diplomats exchanging concerned glances, their skin colors shifting rapidly in silent communication. The alliance faced its most serious threat, not from human Zarthan misunderstanding, but from external pressure. Then Olivia stepped forward. Despite protocol, may I address the delegation? She asked. The Merotic leader turned crystalline sensory organs toward her. Clearly surprised by her presumption, humans have no standing in this matter. This concerns civilized species, Olivia maintained, her composure. If you truly base decisions on data rather than emotion, you would want all relevant information before judging our species. The argument resonated with the Merotic's inherent logical framework. Reluctantly, they granted her permission To speak. Olivia activated her tablet, interfacing with the ship systems to display a series of images you judge humanity as emotional. Therefore dangerous, she began. But consider what those emotions have achieved. The display showed human achievements across history, the pyramids, Gothic cathedrals, Renaissance art, space exploration, quantum physics, medical breakthroughs, each image highlighting creativity born from emotional inspiration. Then she shifted to recent joint human-Zarthan projects, particularly the asteroid deflection that saved Earth. You see emotion as contaminating logical processes, she continued. But emotion drives innovation, creativity, problem-solving abilities that complement Zarthan efficiency. The Merotic representatives remained silent, their crystalline bodies refracting light as they processed her presentation. Finally, their leader spoke. Humans use emotional processing yet achieve logical outcomes. This contradicts established cognitive development patterns. Exactly, Olivia agreed, and that's precisely why the Alliance benefits both species and ultimately galactic stability. She displayed neurological scans comparing human-Zarthan and hybrid problem-solving approaches. Humans imagine alternatives. Zarthans optimize solutions. Together we find possibilities neither would discover alone. Kira stepped forward, her skin glowing with subtle patterns that emphasized her points. Our research confirms this unexpected synergy. Human-Zarthan cooperation has accelerated development, in controlled beneficial directions, not chaotic ones as predicted by standard models. The Merotic delegation conferred among themselves crystalline structures vibrating in their communication method. Finally, their leader turned to address both Olivia and Kira. This partnership requires further study we will observe before final judgment, but caution restraint in technology sharing. It wasn't complete acceptance. But it was enough. The immediate threat to the Alliance had passed as they departed. The Merotic vessel. Kira turned to Olivia, her eyes a warm, appreciative gold. You defended our alliance with their own logic, emotion, driving rational argument, a perfect demonstration of human-Zarthan synergy. Olivia smiled. Sometimes you need to approach a problem from an unexpected angle. In the aftermath of the Merotic challenge, the alliance grew stronger with clearer protocols for technology sharing and cultural exchange. The brief crisis highlighting the unique value of human-Zarthan cooperation. In the larger galactic context, 5 years after first contact, permanent Zarthan settlements appeared on Earth, while human teams established research bases aboard Zarthan vessels. Technological advancement accelerated at unprecedented rates, but carefully managed to prevent disruption of human development or dependency on alien technology. Olivia found herself increasingly involved in planning the next phase of the Alliance humanity, preparing for eventual introduction to the wider galactic community. The challenges were enormous. Humans would need to understand complex interspecies protocols while maintaining their unique perspective and avoiding being overwhelmed by vastly advanced civilizations. During a planning session, Kira presented disturbing research from Zarthan anthropologists studying galactic history. Many emerging civilizations lose their unique qualities when exposed to advanced societies. They either imitate dominant cultures or retreat into isolation. Human, emotional, creativity could be similarly vulnerable. How do we prevent this? Olivia asked, concerned about preserving what made humanity valuable. Kira activated a holographic display showing various scenarios. We must establish humanity as equals before wider contact, gradual technology, sharing, cultural strengthening, immune system development before exposure to pathogens. The planning required years of careful preparation, but the foundation was built on the trust established through their cultural exchanges. Olivia sometimes reflected on that first pivotal moment, when she'd shown the aliens a simple video of humans experiencing fear. That single demonstration had laid the foundation for everything that followed. 7 years into the Alliance, the first human-Zarthan artistic collaborations emerged, new forms of expression, combining human emotional depth with Zarthan precision music that utilized frequencies beyond human hearing, perceived through specialized interfaces, art that changed based on emotional responses of viewers, literature that evolved as it was read. The creations defied categorization, transcending both cultures. These artistic developments particularly interested the Merotics, who had continued observing the Alliance, their initial skepticism gradually shifting toward scientific curiosity. The silicon-based beings had no concept of art as humans understood it, viewing the collaborations as evidence of cognitive processes previously undocumented in galactic records. The 10th anniversary of First Contact, a celebration was held at the Zarthan Earth Embassy in Geneva. Representatives from both species gathered to commemorate the historic alliance, many wearing the now traditional purple and blue colors that symbolized human-Zarthan cooperation. Honorary Ambassador Olivia gave a speech about the ongoing cultural exchange, emphasizing how understanding emotional differences had bridged vast biological and psychological gaps. She spoke of fear not as weakness but as driver of change, adaptation, and ultimately connection. But the most meaningful moment came afterward when Kira privately shared a Zarthan creation with Olivia, in a quiet room away from the celebration. A simulation based on human fiction techniques, a story. Imagining an alternate first contact where understanding had not been achieved, where fear had led to conflict instead of cooperation. We created this as reminder, Kira explained, her eyes shimmering with an emotion that needed no translation. Possibilities branch endlessly. The path we walked together was not inevitable but chosen. Fear understood becomes wisdom. Fear shared becomes connection. Olivia nodded, understanding completely. The universe had many terrors indeed, but facing them together meant neither species would face them alone. That simple truth transcended differences in biology, culture, and the vast distances between their homeworlds. As Earth glowed blue and green through the embassy viewport, Olivia realized the greatest adventure lay not in space exploration, but in the continuing journey of understanding between two fundamentally different forms of sentient life. Fear had brought them together. Understanding would keep them there. And the possibilities stretched endlessly before them like the stars themselves. 15 years after First Contact, humanity took its first steps into the wider galactic community, with Zarthan guidance joint delegations visited nearby star systems, establishing diplomatic relations with other civilizations. The Human-Zarthan partnership serving as a model for cooperative development. Olivia, now heading the Earth Diplomatic Corps, found herself mentoring younger representatives, preparing them for interspecies communication. 1. Young diplomat asked her the secret to successful alien relations. Olivia smiled, thinking of that first meeting with Kira. Understand their fears. Share your own, find common ground in difference. She replied. The young woman looked confused by this answer. But Olivia knew someday she would understand. 20 years into the alliance, the first human Zarthan children were born through advanced genetic engineering. Combining the best traits of both species, these children possessed human creativity and emotional depth, alongside Zarthan analytical abilities and extended lifespan. They represented a new branch of evolution, neither fully human nor Zarthan, but something entirely new. Kira, now serving as Zarthan High Ambassador, visited Earth to meet these children, her eyes shifting through colors of wonder as she watched them play. They imagine worlds that never existed, she remarked to Olivia, yet apply perfect logic within those imaginary frameworks. They are the future. Olivia replied, our greatest creation, as they watched the children. Kira turned to Olivia, her expression thoughtful. All began with fear, she said. Your demonstration of human fear responses, that first meeting. Olivia nodded. Who would have thought fear could build bridges across stars? Kira, eyes shifting to warm gold. We should have expected it. Fear is universal. All life forms experience it differently, but all know it at some level. It provides common ground. The beginning of understanding. 50 years after First Contact, as Olivia neared the end of her life, she received the highest honor the Zarthan Collective could bestow: citizenship and a place in their historical archives as the human who bridged worlds through emotional understanding. Her final days enhanced by Zarthan medical technology, but still mortal. Kira visited her one last time. The Zarthan leader hardly changed by the decades that had transformed Olivia into an elderly woman. They spoke of the alliance now spanning dozens of star systems, hundreds of worlds, countless beings, all building on that first tentative connection. Before leaving, Kira placed her hand gently on Olivia's. You showed us fear, she said, her voice carrying the subtle harmonics of deep emotion, but taught us hope. The greater lesson. Olivia smiled weakly. We feared the stars, she whispered, until we found they feared us too. In that shared fear we found our greatest strength as stars wheeled overhead visible through her hospital window. Olivia closed her, eyes content the human-Zarthan alliance would continue growing, evolving, exploring long after she was gone. Because once you truly understand another being's fears, you can never again see them as alien.